With the Christina Glacia Banner coming up next week, you've probably already thought to yourself, which one should you be building first? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have the answer to that. But before we discuss about Christina and Glacia, I would just like to say that if you do have enough resources to max both characters to plus 15, I would suggest you do so. Both have relatively relatively long lifespan in the arena, and they're both extremely good from the get-go, as long as you can max them to plus 15. You should also be building Maria and Iris for Novice Arena. Both are seeing a pretty high use rate in Novice Arena. They're both in the top 5 most used mercenaries in the Korean Novice Arena. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Let me very quickly sum up their skills. So we'll start with Christina. Christina hits skip with 3 tiles and 5 multi-hits. Previously, she only did 2 multi-hits and a lot less damage. She will deal 75% of her attack as damage over time, either person, poison, burn, or bleed. So what's the difference between these 3 damage over time? Well, in Browndust, certain classes are weak against certain damage over time. For example, a mage will take 3 times as much damage against burn, while the same is true for defenders against the bleed effect, and same for warriors against poison. Christina will only inflict the most effective damage over time against the enemy because that's just how it works. The damage over time will ignore armor against defenders and ignore damage reduction against warriors, magicians, and supporters. She needs plus 15 in order to survive reflect damage from Granhilder, Kaoli, Raphithia, etc. Keep in mind that during the attack, she can't be debuffed because she has a skill that prevents any harmful skill types from reaching her. So for example, if she does hit a Granhilder, the damage over time, which would normally be reflected, will not affect Christina. Her second skill is also irremovable, so assuming that she can get prohibited, she will still have the 95% defense. So if she hits a Mammoneer, for example, that's been buffed by Raphithia, she'll still keep her defense and she won't die from the reflect damage. If she directly hits a Lucius, she can also one-shot him since she hits 5 times, so she's very, very strong. The optimal runes for Christina would be Flat Assault and a percent Assault. Now for Glacia. Same as Christina, Glacia really needs the plus 15. She's pretty much average 10 turn taunter until plus 15, because at plus 15, Glacia gets a new sub-skill called Glacier. For now, we will be calling it Bullshit Shield, because that's simply what it is. So Bullshit Shield activates after a basic attack, and it makes it so that Glacia takes no damage. This means that she will normally survive anything that's not damage over time. This includes even fixed damage. So for example, a Livia or a Alec that doesn't have enough base damage. She also does reflect damage based on the damage she receives, but with the meta right now, a lot of the warriors have a way to protect themselves, such as defense boosts or a lot of damage reduction, or just low base damage such as Ludmilla or Barbara. So this is pretty much a useless skills with all the tanky warriors. The only thing this can kill is probably Alec and Taylor, but most of the time those two just really die to anything. So yeah, even Ludmilla will survive the reflect damage from Glacia. Keep in mind also that Bullshit Shield will only activate after being attacked. So a unit which deals damage before attack, such as Ventana, will penetrate Glacia's hull like a hot metal chopstick in butter. She will also die to Celia very easily, which is why some top Korean players have been picking up Celia. The recommended runes for Glacia are double defense runes. So the top 10 are actually still using Glacia and Christina, so that means they're still relevant 2 or 3 patches into the future when Albion and Eden get updated. So this is really important. Christina is seeing a use rate of 8 out of 10 in the top 10. Just to give you an idea, Lucius, Nardas, and Eden are also seeing the 8 out of 10 rating. and she has an overall use rate of 77.80% in high rank. Glacia is seeing a 4 out of 10 use rate together with Livia and Beliath, and a 63.40 overall use rate in high rank. Just to give you a bit more of comparison, a unit such as Benshina, which is broken right now in global, is only seeing a 1 out of 10 use rate in the top 10 Korea, and a 42.80% overall use rate, which is steadily declining as well. Just from the use rates, we can see that Christina and Glacia have long-term viability and are very good investments. You can take note that in global, we still don't have the Albion or Eden patches and a lot more. Otherwise, Christina and Glacia would have an even higher use rate. So here's the dilemma. You decided to buy a lot of the Christmas costumes or just have a low diamond income. So you can only build one. Which one should you go for? So Christina and Glacia are both good, but I would recommend for you to pick up Christina. But Aegle, Glacia has bullshit shield and can block pretty much anyone. Why would you recommend Christina over Glacia? Well, Christina is both a DPS and a tank buster, which is something you will desperately need in the defensive meta. Normally, a unit can either deal with mega tanks such as Barbara, or can break the enemy formation such as a Dalvi or a Taylor. Christina can do both. This is very important because it makes her just as useful or almost as useful as Alec or Angelica if you maximize her correctly. The other reason I choose Christina over Glacia is because of Bullshit Shield. Remember that Bullshit Shield will only protect Glacia from immediate damage, so a 6-turn bleed will kill her. The meta will be saturated with Glacia users, and for those who didn't buy 10 costumes last month like me, Glacia, Christina users. Which is why you'll need Christina. Look at your meta units now. Only Catherine can kill Glacia, but the thing is, Catherine will fade out of the meta. For example, in Korea, her use rate is a whopping 4% now. Her job is clearing Lucius, but now a warrior can do her job, plus she can kill a ton of other units that Catherine can't. Catherine also hits every other turn, which is why she's inferior to Christina, and the meta is more fast-paced with Christina, since she will be able to clear 3 tiles, so it's gonna be pretty hard to buy time for mage-heavy compositions, such as the Livia Nartas Catherine combo. Even if you use Beliath and a lot of tanks, it's still gonna be pretty hard. So yeah, if you do decide to get Glacia and not Christina, you'll pretty much just be stuck on Glacia as well, unless you have something like an ass mode. So it is better to build Christina now and work on Glacia if ever you do later on. Some things to keep in mind though. Glacia does have a lot of synergy with Albion and Granhilder. This is because Albion Granhilder will have max agi and damage reduction. She'll only die to Livia pretty much. So what people do is they do Albion Granhilder in round 1, and in round 2 they let Glacia tank Livia. So yeah, Christina also needs good runes or additional supports to compensate. So if you're only using Raphithia, she might not penetrate some particularly hard units. If you're using Raphithia, Beliath, she'll most likely kill most of your enemies. So that's it for this video, guys, and if you think this was helpful, please consider subscribing. If you disagree or think I missed some information, please make sure to voice out your own opinions down in the comment section below for the benefit of others. So yeah, bye!